What's going on, Misfits? Hunter and Sher back at Misfit HQ to teach you how to do freestanding handstand push-ups. It's an advanced skill that we're starting to see at kind of the higher levels of competition, and it's a great skill to practice on either a rest day or kind of as a fun thing to do with some friends out around the gym. But if you're trying to compete at a high level, this is a skill that you're going to have to probably show that you have the capacity to do at some point. There's a couple prerequisites and a couple progressions that we want you to go through before you just start throwing skull mats on the ground and getting after it. First is getting comfortable in a headstand. And the good news is that if you guys have been paying attention to all the handstand push-up tip videos that we put out there, this base is going to look very familiar. So we're aiming for that tripod position. And what's cool is Sherb, he's going to put his hands down on the mat first, then he's going to put his head down, he's going to tuck his knees up as close to his elbows as he can, and then 1 foot at a time, gets himself into a headstand. Once he gets himself there, he can straighten one leg, then the other, and then try to get his heels back so they're right over his head if you can, and even if he tips backward, he's got the wall there for safety. So again, we're looking for those hands and that head to form the tripod, which is going to be that stable base. Once he can safely headstand, then we're going to move out into the open where we're going to make sure that he knows how to bail correctly, which is with that forward roll. So he's going to apply the exact same mechanics. He's got a gymnastics mat here for safety. He puts his hands down first, then he puts his head down, and we're not even going to let him go straight up with his feet just yet. From this position, he's going to think about tucking his head so that he aims to land his upper back and shoulders on the mat, okay? We don't want to crane that neck back, put it in an unsafe position. Instead, we tuck the chin to the chest and he's aiming for those upper traps to hit the ground. So he kicks himself up, one leg, then the other leg. Oh no, he starts to tip forward. He's able to tuck his chin and safely roll away really easily. Make sure that you can do that so that when you bail, and you're gonna have a lot of practice reps here, you can do so safely. So once we've established that we can do that headstand and we can bail safely, now we can start to try to incorporate the actual handstand push-up. So we go back to the wall. Sherb's gonna kick himself up into that headstand. He's got his knees down because he's loaded up, and he's simply going to attempt that kipping handstand push-up. And if he fails, he's got the wall there, but he can lower his head down. There's a successful one. He can work on the exact same mechanics, good, relax, as he does with the handstand push-up. You hear us talk all the time about kind of loading up the knees and then kipping. Once he extends and is straight, he can lower himself down into that tripod. For a lot of you, just kind of kicking yourself up and then getting comfortable getting back down into that kind of no supported headstand without your feet on the wall is going to be the place to start. Once he's able to do that, so he was, now it's time for him to attempt that moving handstand push-up. So he can start with his head right on that skull mat. You can see we've got 2 more here for him to attempt to target. And what he's gonna do, he's always gonna aim for those hands to be a little bit behind the mat so that his head can land and form the tripod. Well, let's see if he can get it. Boom. Nice work, pretty good. Remember, we want to establish that headstand first, then we need to make sure that you're safe by getting out of that position with that forward roll. We go back to the wall, work on the static freestanding handstand push-up. The wall is there for support. Once you can get a couple reps without needing the wall to kind of catch your heels, then it's time to move out into the open and see if you can kind of move from one spot to the next. Really important here, guys, be safe. Take care of your neck. Make sure that you're not lowering yourself down in a manner that's going to get you injured. We don't want to crane that neck back. We want to tuck that chin to the chest so that you roll out safely. That's the freestanding handstand push-up. We'll see you guys in the next one.